Good morning, good day, or good evening to you. LockDoc coming through to you. Today we have the International Door Controls aluminum storefront dead latch. The part number is a DL4510. They are handed, but they are very easily reversed, and I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. I'm not sure if it's coming up clear enough, but if you see underneath it says 4511. That 11 actually is indicating the faceplate. 4510 is kind of like the base part number. This one is a 1 1/8 inch back set. There are two other models available. One's 31/32 back set, and the other one's 1.5. So, getting right to it. Inside the box, you'll find the faceplate, which this is the flat faceplate, which you can see it's flat across here. They also have a radius version, and they also have one that has a piece of pile weather stripping that goes down the center. You got full lip strike, some mounting screws, and then also the dead latch itself. Alright, so once inside, this is pretty much the standard dead latch that's used on about all aluminum storefront doors. Standard being the size within the door here. There are other versions that have a slide bolt that flips up. They have one for a hook bolt for a pair of doors. They also have a short throw deadbolt, which the bolt is just shorter than what the normal one is. As I had mentioned before, I am going to show you how to change the latch bolt swing in this. Apparently had a little screw fall out, so let's put that back in here. These are the set screws that actually hold your cylinder in place. And so let's put that in there so that doesn't get lost. Give it a couple screws in just to secure it. Alright, now, I think I should talk about real quick. Okay, so the cylinder that's used with these is pretty much any mortise cylinder. What's important is the tailpiece. It needs to have the AR cam tailpiece. AR stands for Adams Rite. That's kind of the name brand company that has always made these locks. This is I believe a generic import. Anyways, they're just thread into place. Oh, come on. There we go. Anyways, you want to thread it in about halfway, like here's a good look. Alright, so if you see it's not extending past this rocker arm right here. Under standard conditions, standard being the length of the cylinder is 1 1/8 long, you'll need a 3/8 inch trim ring in conjunction with the cylinder in order to make it kind of work out well on the doors. What's kind of odd and why I bring this up is because typically what's provided with the cylinder is only 1/4 inch. So you're kind of left in the field trying to figure out what to do with that remaining 1/8 inch increment to kind of shore up the distance, make it look good. This piece can be called a trim ring, collar, blocking ring, collar ring. I mean, every company calls it by a different thing, but it's just a piece of metal 1 1/8 inch diameter, 3/8 inches long. One thing to also mention about this lock set that I have encountered a lot of people don't realize is it has a holdback feature. Holdback meaning you can bring the latch in like this, so your key would go in all the way to retract it back, and then if you put your finger here and hold it, you can reverse the turn of the key and have that tailpiece come down and hit this rocker arm and lock it in place, which would then hold back the latch so you can keep the door open from 8 to 5 or whatever business hours are. In order to reverse it, all you got to do is put your key in, go like you normally would to retract the latch, and when the tailpiece comes back, it actually flips the rocker arm up, allowing for normal operation or the latching of the door. Alright, so in order to change the handing on these things, you have to remove a screw here, and a screw here, and this whole plate will come out. And then there's two main springs. You got a large spring right here and another spring right here. I should mention that this piece right here also has a little spring in it, and it is kind of a pain, I'm not going to lie, to put it back in there. So let's see how much of a pain it is today. Anyway, so you just unscrew these screws. And they're tiny, they're nothing big. Alright, now like I said, the back comes out. Let me move this. Work it on. Alright, so you take your two springs out. Then in order to extract everything, this piece is kind of connected to this. So in order to take this out, you have to take this out. So move that. This piece, you have to depress that to push it out. And it's best to kind of hold this together like this, because then it makes it easier to flip it. Now in order to flip it, you have to move this bolt to up here. So that being said, here's that paper clip again. Told you, best lock tool ever. Alright, so you take that post out, bring this whole piece in. There's that little spring I was telling you about. There it is. Okay, so with this, it's kind of fun. You have to balance the spring in here. All the while pushing down on it with this piece. All the while holding it and putting that back in there. Alright, then hopefully the spring stays in place. Otherwise you got to repeat all that all over again. Flip this around. Insert it back into the lock set. Just like so. Ta-da! Alright, so now you put your other piece in. You got your large diameter spring, smaller diameter spring. Then you got your back plate. If you notice, you got a big bump out and a small bump out to go with the corresponding spring. And make sure the springs are seated over those little bumps. Put that back in there. So one side done. Alright, now one thing I had mentioned earlier was referring to back set. Alright, if you were going to take the measurement of the edge of the door here to the center of this hole, that is the measurement referred to as the back set. This one in this case is 1 1/8 inch. Like I said, there's several other common ones, but 1 1/8 is the most common from my experience. What typically goes wrong with these over a course of 5 years? This thing breaks. It shears. You just got to replace it. Very rarely do these springs ever go wrong. This spring in here will get worn, but it's nothing too major. These really aren't even that expensive of a lock, so you know, if you're having issues with them, it's better sometimes just replace it and keep on moving. So other than that, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. And thanks for watching. Have a good day.